Lil Tim, the dude who allegedly killed King Von in Atlanta last year, was recently arrested following a high-speed chase with police. Now, it seems like Casanova, who's been locked up on a RICO charge, might be locked up for even longer after a high-ranking member in his gang snitched. Let's take a closer look at these wild stories. Lil Tim is a rapper who's more famous for a body he caught than his music. He's a friend of Quando Rondo, who was with him the night he got into it with King Von and was allegedly the shooter who took Von's life. On November 6, 2020, Lil Tim was with Quando and a bunch of their friends at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. They bumped into Von and his crew, and a fight broke out after Von walked up to Quando and punched him in the face. Lil Tim responded by pulling out a strap and letting off shots, leaving Von dead and a few others injured. Von and Quando had allegedly been beefing because of Quando's affiliations with NBA Youngboy. They had been quietly sending shots at each other for a while after Von questioned Youngboy's street cred and was spotted hanging out with his baby mama. Quando is signed to Youngboy's record label and often gets involved in his beefs. So when he saw Von, it was on sight. But unfortunately, the situation turned into a shootout, and one of Chicago's most loved rappers ended up losing his life. Ever since then, Rondo and Lil Tim have been two of the most hated men in hip-hop, even though they never violated the street code or even the ones who started the fight. But Von was one of the most loved and respected rappers from the city, so it makes sense that Quando has been blackballed in the industry ever since. Lil Tim was arrested and charged with murder the day after the shooting. He was also shot during the fight and spent about 2 weeks recovering at Grady Hospital in Atlanta before being transferred to Fulton County Jail. He spent a few months locked up before being released on a $100,000 bond in late March. He's out now, but still finding his way into trouble. Not long after being released, he announced he was making his debut as a rapper with the song Off the List. Quando's career has been suffering because of the hate he's been getting from the Von situation. Fans were even scared to go to his shows for fear that there could be violence at any moment. He dropped the track Off the List in July 2021. He doesn't mention Von by name, but he raps with a shovel in his hand like he just got done digging a grave. He also raps about crossing a new op off his hit list. So it wasn't hard for fans to connect the dots and figure out who he was talking about. If that wasn't disrespectful enough, Lil Tim would get wrapped up in a whole other controversy after Wack 100 went on Clubhouse and hinted that he and 6ix9ine were working on a track together. After Wack went on DJ Academic's podcast and had a conversation with 6ix9ine, he did a series of discussions on the Clubhouse app that also went viral. During one of these discussions, he started a rumor that he witnessed 6ix9ine filming a music video with someone who also had beef with dudes from O Block. He didn't mention Lil Tim by name, but he said it would be like if Biggie did a video with Baby Lane, referring to the dude who many believe was responsible for the murder of Tupac. Fans were quick to notice that 6ix9ine's photo on Clubhouse was a picture of Lil Tim, adding fuel to the rumors of a possible collaboration. Lil Tim denied the rumors, tweeting, "The f*** I look like doing a song with a rat." But video later surfaced of him pulling up to the studio with 6ix9ine to record a verse. After the video leaked, Tim changed his story a bit and revealed that he did pull up to the studio, but only to finesse him out of $40,000. He said that 6ix9ine paid $30,000 to some dudes he knew to set up a meeting. When he showed up to the studio, he asked for another $10,000 to buy his team clothes for a video shoot, but then dipped off and never came back. His version of events did seem to match up with the footage, and no track or video ever ended up getting released. But just the fact that he even showed up to the studio with a dude like 6ix9ine had some fans confused. Now, it seems like Tim has been arrested again, this time for getting in a high-speed chase with the police. On September 22nd, he was arrested in Chatham County, Georgia for speeding, blowing through a stop sign, making an illegal left turn, following another car too closely, driving on the wrong side of the road, reckless driving, obstruction, and fleeing police. Currently, he's being held in jail with no bond amount set. The charges aren't all that serious, but it's still not a great look for Tim, who's still out on bond for the King Von murder. At this time, it's not clear what happened that made Tim try and flee the police. From the charges, it seems like he was trying to lose the cops, but couldn't get away, so they tried to hit him with as many minor traffic violations as possible to keep him in jail. The charge of following too closely sounds like maybe he was telling somebody, which could have led to the chase. Or maybe he was just trying to get away from the cops and ended up behind traffic. Right now, it's hard to tell whether he was in the process of doing something illegal and try to get away, or if they tried to pull him over for something minor and he wasn't about it. More information about this situation will probably come to light once Tim is granted a bond or ends up going to court. So stay tuned for updates. But Lil Tim isn't the only rapper to face legal problems. Casanova is now in even more trouble after a high-ranking member of his gang, who was caught up in the same RICO indictment, decided to accept a plea deal. Let's take a closer look at what happened. Casanova is a rapper from Brooklyn, known for tracks like 2 AM and Whoa. Cass is allegedly affiliated with the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation blood gang and has been in and out of prison since he was young. In 2006, he was arrested on a robbery charge and spent almost 8 years in prison. During that time, he was briefly cellmates with A$AP Rocky before either had started rapping seriously. He was released in 2014, and after working construction for a little, he decided to become a rapper. He dropped his first track, Don't Run, in 2016 and started gaining the local buzz. The track was later remixed with verses from Young M.A., Don Q, Fabulous, and Dave East, so Casanova was on his way to building a buzz in the city. In October 2016, he signed a deal with Jay-Z's Roc Nation and started collaborating with major names in the industry. But his past would eventually catch up to him, and in December 2020, the Southern District of New York Federal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. They claimed that he was one of the leaders of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation and was charged along with 18 others for crimes including racketeering, murder, narcotics, firearms, and fraud. On December 2nd, Casanova turned himself in and has been locked up ever since. RICO cases have become a popular tactic used by prosecutors to take down gang-related rappers over the past few years. The RICO Act was originally intended to take down mafia bosses who ordered their members to commit crimes but didn't commit the actual crimes themselves. In recent years, the RICO Act has been used to take down rappers affiliated with national or neighborhood street gangs by painting the rapper as the ringleader who uses their money and influence to control the operations of the gang. We've seen this happen to everyone from Bobby Shmurda to YFN Lucci, and this tactic has put many rappers behind bars. Now, it seems like one of the highest ranking members in the untouchable Gorilla Stones, a dude by the name of Brandon Untouchable Neves, has decided to accept a plea deal instead of taking the case to trial. Neves is accused of being the godfather of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation, which means he was likely facing several decades, if not life in prison. Plus, this is a Fed case, which has a notoriously high conviction rate. Dot was caught on the wiretap with 2 other members of the gang plotting to stab other Bloods who violated the code of the organization while they were locked up. He was also caught on another wiretap talking about selling drugs and admitting to other gang activity. Dot was already on probation for ordering the prison stabbing of another Gorilla Stone in 2015. So he was definitely looking at some serious time if he didn't accept a plea. He's still facing a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison and has agreed to plead guilty on November 18th, 2021. The reports don't say that Dot told prosecutors about any activities that his co-defendants may have committed, but just admitting to the fact that he ordered hits on other members of the gang will make it harder for them to claim innocence. It's still not clear what Casanova's involvement in the case is, but he's being accused of being one of the leaders of the gang and pled not guilty to racketeering conspiracy and narcotics conspiracy. It sounds like the case is set to go to trial soon, so stay tuned for more updates in both situations.